again.
Yay!
Parker, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How did you get into theater?
Well, I started whenever I was about 3.
3? Wait a minute. What can you do at 3?
Well, I was in show choir and with my sisters.
Yep.
And I had one line. I was Snow White.
Yep.
And
Wait a minute. One line, but you're still. Wait a minute.
Well, it was a Halloween themed party.
Yeah.
Thing, and I was Snow White, and all I said was we were having a sleepover on Halloween night. That's what this show was. So then Snow White comes up here, and I said, "Oh, how goodness! Oh, how glad! This is the best fun I've ever had!" And I walked off, and that was the end of my star moment. And I'm sure I had no clue what was going on. I just knew this is when I have to go, and I was like, "All right, I guess."
But 3? Wait a minute. So did you know? I mean, this is something you wanted to do, or your mom said, "No," or your siblings got you into this? What is this?
Well, my mom was into that a lot whenever she was little, so I definitely get that from her.
Okay.
And my sisters and I, we've loved it for forever. I went from show choir to center stage.
Yes.
And that's where I met my best friend, Sarah.
Yes.
And she's kind of been my 4th sister for
we call
really
it P4,
long
yes.
time. Oh, yes. And she just, she got me my first, I was Molly and Annie as well. And Sarah's just very, very much a comedian. She's just, she will always make me laugh. And she would just give me so many tips and be like, "Oh, and the crowd will just go crazy when you do this and stuff." And they did. And she's just helped me along so much. And then I was in Oompa Loompa and Willy Wonka, and we got all the orange makeup and the green hair, which was a lot of fun. And then I went from there to I tried out for Tuts, Theater Under the Stars, and I was Flounder in The Little Mermaid. And we launched that at the Junior Theater Festival, which was a blast. And then I took a break for a while, and I was in gymnastics.
Okay.
So that's where I get my tumbling ability, and now I dance competitively.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is really exciting. I went to nationals last year, and I did my first solo, and I placed 8th in the nation, which was so surreal. I mean, it was crazy, but it was so much fun. So I love it so much. I mean, it makes me so happy to see your what comes of everything that you've worked so hard for.
So, are you an actor, singer, or dancer? What do you consider yourself first?
That's hard. I have been dancing for so long now that I feel that that's my best foot forward. That's what I am my best at. And then I love singing. Everywhere, we're always in the car going somewhere. Crazy schedule. Oh, yeah. So we're always singing something in the car. I also love to sing. Yeah. And then the character, I think the acting would come last. But I mean, that's what's so great about musical theater is it's just everything in one, which is always really fun.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't realize there were a lot of other people that are really considered some dancers foremost in the cast.
Yeah, and it makes us, we all complement each other with all of our talents, and that's what makes all the shows so great.
Their big thing was telling story through their dance. So how do you tell story through your dance?
My solo was I was a Spanish Rose. That was my name. Yeah. So the character, I always like to be happy, but then there's I always like to have exciting dances where I make people smile and laugh. Right. But then you forget also the hard times, and that's something that is hard for me to show through dance, I think. Being sad, you know? Yeah. So I like being sad. No one likes being sad, you know?
Well, no, we don't.
But you have to, sometimes you are not vulnerable in that way. I don't think I'm that way yet. Yeah. I just like being happy and making people happy,
Well, you're very expressive, and that's great. So, you obviously see that on stage as well. Of course. So, where does that come from? I know you said you want to make people happy, and that's great. But it seems like it's got to come from inside you as well.
Yeah, maybe getting over, my sadness is seeing other people happy.
Right.
Is me making other people happy is making me happy as well. So that takes away my sadness as well. And, of course, I really give my everything to my mom and Sarah. They really have they've been there for everything since I was so
Sure.
little, and she's just.
And there's your
really-
train. Quick, take their train. Get on the train.
gotta go, guys!
Sorry, that's all right. So gotta go. See ya.
Sorry, goodbye, everyone.
That's so sad.
Oh my gosh. Woo, that is a loud train.
It's always loud, though. It doesn't matter when it comes through. But anyway.
So Sarah actually told me yesterday that she gets 60% of whatever I get if I'm famous. So I said,
Well, wait a minute. Sarah's the straight person here, and she gets the 60.
Yes, she said she gets 60% of whatever I get. So I said, hey, you just live in my mansion. She goes, there you go. That's what I'll do.
That's the
I'll
60%.
live in your mansion.
She tells me a story about when you tried out for Disney. So what was that like?
Yes, I totally forgot about that. I did try out for Disney, and that was really exciting because all the time at home that's always on Disney Channel,
of course,
and that always was really childhood Disney all the time.
Absolutely.
Still now, I watch Disney
It's childhood
Channel.
for everyone. It's not just for kids. Yes.
Oh yeah. So so she just came over. It was I think 3 days before the tryouts, and it was in San Antonio, and we have a lake house up there.
Oh, cool.
So we were like, oh, well, perfect. We'll just go stay there and stuff. And it was in 3 days, so we were like, well, you're crazy, but we're gonna do this and stuff. Like, we'll be crazy with you. So we went up to our lake house and we just practiced and practiced. We actually used the piece. All three of my sisters. You went there and you did a monologue, and they gave you it at the very beginning, and then you went in there, and that's really all you did.
They gave you the monologue.
They gave you the monologue, and you learned it about 30 minutes before you went in the show to show the people. About maybe that's a little over exaggerated. Maybe an hour. I think it was an hour.
But still, it's almost they didn't want you to prep per se.
Yeah, they wanted to see what you could do.
Kind of spur of the moment. Yeah.
And so we went in there, and I just I think I messed up a word, and I just said something different, and I made them laugh, and they liked me.
Yeah.
So I got a call back, which was so cool. I mean, we went after that, and it was like, what is happening? Like, I'm so happy right now. And so we went the next day, and I went in, and they gave me a script to learn, and it was from The Sweet Life on Deck, and I was like, I remembered watching this episode, and now I'm gonna go try out with this thing. I was like, this is so cool. And so I went in, and I said my script, and I memorized it, and I made sure I was like, I'm not gonna, and they're like, oh, do you need the script? And I was like, oh no, I've got this, and stuff. And they're like, okay, and stuff, and I actually did pretty well. I was so nervous, and I mean, my whole family's outside, and they're biting their fingers, hoping I'm doing okay, and we planned out this whole thing. I was like, and I sing and I dance, and so I brought in my sisters, and I was like, and I have 2 sisters outside with me. All look exactly the same, and we all can sing. And I was like, would you like me to sing for you? And they were like, oh, well, sure, and stuff. So I brought my sisters in, and we sang The Little Mermaid, and I was Flounder, and they were my Mer sisters, and we sang it, and I mean, it just felt really good. Like, no matter what happened, we were just so proud that we had made it this far, and that we were so happy. So that was kind of the end of that for me, but I mean, I take experience everywhere I go, and that's just always something that I can look back on and be like, look at me, I tried out for Disney Channel, it's so cool. So it was a really good experience.
So, it's interesting. Usually when you're the youngest, you grow up fast because you see your older siblings do things, and you can go, I want to do those kind of things.
Yes.
So, do they do acting and singing, dancing first, or?
Well, we've always been together. I've always felt that we're just identical. We're triplets, and we just do everything together. My sister Peyton, she's in college right now. We call as much as we can. We're always, and when we do call, like 3 days after a day that we didn't call, we just catch up each other on everything. And I feel that we've just been doing this forever. And
so you guys never fought? Oh, come on, just the dark. Come on,
oh my goodness. No, I mean, there are times, there are times when we can get a little mad at each other, but like, that is no amount to all the fun that we have with each other. And so we did Legally Blonde, and we're doing this right now because we were saying, my mom was just all about it, and my mom is 200% with us all the time. She's always so supportive, and I mean, she gives the best pep talks. She's like, remember, you take every single thing, you take that Snow White line that you said, you take that into every audition that you go into, and I mean, she just loves us no matter what, and she is the best mom I could ever ask for. And my sisters, we're just, you know, we're moving on with life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's in college, my sister's in high school, and we don't know when we're ever going to be able to do a show together, you know.
Right.
We don't know what the future brings.
Of
so
course
we were
not.
like, you know, how cool would it be for us to all be in a musical together again?
Mm-hmm.
So we were so excited this summer that we could just, you know, drive up here every night and just be together.
And I know it's a long way for you guys, but, you know, that's why we do a lot of the big shows in the summers, so that families can do it together. Because it's special. Even if you have the smallest role, but just doing it together, it's a great shared experience that you can carry forward.
All the
with you.
laughs and everything.
Absolutely.
So much fun.
Absolutely. So, what did you learn from your sisters when you were growing up?
Oh, everything. I mean, I've never really, other than Sarah, which, you know, she's my sister teacher.
Of course.
My agent, my everything.
Right.
She's helped me with my voice, but I mean, just listening to them and looking at them, and, you know, they both go to St. Agnes. Well, when Peyton was in high school, they both went to St. Agnes, and they both have just, I was in the audience for, you know, quite a while because they've been doing musicals in high school together, and I'm just like, I look at that and I'm like, that's gonna be me, like, that's gonna be so much fun. Like, I definitely, my biggest role models are my sisters and my mom and Sarah.
Yeah.
And I just look up to them, and they're really just my everything, and they're just, we're so close, and I really get a lot from them. I see myself in them a lot.
Yeah. So what's your favorite role ever, either as dancer or actor, singer?
You know, Theater Under the Stars was really
absolutely.
Was really an experience. And I mean, I'm the youngest. I've always been the youngest, you know, in my family, in this cast, in that cast, you know, Flounder, I was the youngest one. I was like 7 then. And I just remember that being the coolest thing. Like, there was this huge crowd, and it was, you know, the festival, I believe you get awards for it and everything. And there's just everyone in the crowd, and you just, like, you're not even thinking about, like, half the time it's not even about the competition anymore. No. It's just about, like, showing off how hard your work, like, how hard you've worked in the studio and everything, and, like, so that was just really, really a cool moment for me whenever I was Flounder, and, you know, I had the whole song, she's dancing, you know, and all the mermaids were around me, and I was like, this is so cool, you know? So that was really exciting for me. But my dance has taken me very far, and I'm on, I dance at Stacy's Dance Studio in Kingwood, and I've been dancing there since I was about 2, and, you know, just little tap lessons whenever they just have to do the little things, but I mean, every little thing that I've ever learned there, it counts, and it's made me the dancer I am today, and I love it so much, and I really want to take that, like, oh my gosh, it would be so cool if I grow anytime soon, if I could be a Rockette or something on Broadway. I just want to, you know, it's a dream.
So you've been to New York, right?
Well, I've been once when I was really little.
Oh, so that counts. You don't remember it?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really count, but I mean, I think we might be going soon. So
okay.
Really excited.
Well, if you do, take the Radio City tour. It's a mile long. Tour. Yeah, so when you take the radio, it's a mile long. You get to see some incredible architecture. You meet a Rockette, of course.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, but it's incredible. The stage is huge. You know, when they do their shows, it fills 6,000 people. They do 4 shows a day.
Crazy.
Is it 4 or is it 6? It's at least 4 shows a day, and they fill it. Every time, yeah.
That must feel great.
The cool thing is the stage itself. Underneath the stage, you get to see all the hydraulics and stuff. It's just amazing how they can make things. You got to do it. Do the Radio City Music Hall tour. That's a lot of fun to do.
I've seen it all on TV. You
No,
know,
you want to go behind the scenes. You want to see, you know, all the gold, everything,
every little detail.
Every little detail. You'll love it. I know you will. What would you see when you're going to go there?
Well, there's a new musical out, and it's called Hamilton.
Yes, if you can get a ticket.
Oh my goodness, I know. It's crazy. They're selling for so much.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But I mean, it's so worth it. My sisters and I, we listen to that soundtrack at least 4 times a day. Like, we are just obsessed with it. So that is honestly one of my favorites that's on Broadway right now. And it's going on tour.
Yeah, so
by
we've
the
heard.
time it gets here, I'm really hoping that I'll be able to see it because I am obsessed with the soundtrack. It's just so new, so fresh. You know, it's something really different that no one's ever really done before.
Oh no!
So.
Oh, absolutely. So, what is it that you like about Hamilton?
There's a lot of rap music, and nowadays that's really popular. Yeah. But what I really like about it is the clarity that you can hear in their voice. You know, the enunciation.
Yes,
like,
they have to be.
You can hear everything they're saying perfectly, and the storyline. Lin-Manuel Miranda, the writer, he read this book someone wrote about Alexander Hamilton, and he took it, and there's so much more. He could write 3 musicals with the amount of information that was in that book. But what the things that he saw were important in that book and that he put into play, like, it's crazy. I sit there listening to the music, I'm like, how on earth did he think of, like, just, it's so smart, everything that you hear, like, you're like, wow, like, it's just amazing how he wrote it and how everything connects with each other, and it's just, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with it.
When you guys aren't doing theater or dance or singing, what are you doing?
Well,
you fish? I mean, what do you do different? You write?
Well,
write a blog? What do you do?
I go to my lake house every weekend we can get up there.
Really? Wow.
And that is always really, really fun. It's we have just a little place up there, and we have, you know, a boat, and I love the water sports. Like, we wakeboard, I got a tubing scar right here. We tube. I mean, it gets really intense. My dad, he loves pulling us around on that thing, and that's always really fun. It's really relaxing. You know, you just go up there and, like, you know, just chill
So
out.
you don't have any brothers, right?
Oh, no.
So your dad is outnumbered many times.
Yes, we feel there's too much pink. We always say he needs a dog. He needs a big...
He doesn't even have a dog?
No, not even a dog. And we've always wanted a dog, and we've always, like, looked at, you know, the cute little tiny ones, and he goes, oh, no, there's not a boy in the house. We're getting a big slobbery one, you know, one that's just crazy. Yeah. So, yes, he's very outnumbered, but he loves us. So.
Although I have heard, when you guys get to breaking out the song at the dinner table, there's that's
yes, he can get a little. That's when we always say, like, you know, because he comes home from work and he's tired and he's just you know, wanting to, like, just kind of have some peace and quiet, just eat his dinner and stuff, and then we'll get really loud and be like, oh my gosh, Dad, guess what happened today and stuff, and he's like, you know, like, he's like, and everyone always says, don't scare him away, because then he'll just go, we call it his man cave, he'll go back to his man cave and just, you know, hibernate and close the door and everything. We're like, you're gonna scare him away, you gotta be quiet. So, yes, but he loves it. He's here every night with my mom.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
We're so glad to have you guys here. Absolutely, even though I know it's a long way to come. So what's next for you?
I don't know what's next.
What do you want to do?
I really always wanted to be. I feel that all of this is working up to, like, something big that I want to. You know, I want to go to New York, and I really have always wanted to be on Broadway. Like, no matter what it is, like being a rockette. If I'm tall enough, and being, you know, just to say, like, I was on Broadway. Like, I was that one person in the chorus. Even if I'm just in the back row, I'm like, I was on Broadway. I made it. You know, so, I don't know. I've always really wanted to be Matilda.
Yeah.
Always really wanted to be, but I am growing a little bit. I'm getting a little taller.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little older, but, like, with the show, since I'm the youngest one, and before at tryouts, it was, like, 16 and up.
Right.
I came in, you know, with all this makeup and the high heels and the bumped up hair so that I can look, you know, a couple years older. Yeah. But I can, you know, without all of that, I'm just 13. I'm just, you know, I'm just the young one. So, like, I go from being really little, being Matilda, I really would like to be, you know, that's a dream role that I want.
It's kind of interesting. I was listening to one of the patrons come back out. And I think when they watch you on stage, I mean, you know, some people, you can tell that they're younger. But when they watched it, and then you guys came out afterwards to greet everyone, says, I didn't realize how young they were. So he actually did pull it off for a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad.
They went, oh my God.
I had a lot of people. There was even a man yesterday who came back, and he's like, I'm sorry, how old are you? And I was like, 13. And he was like, whoa. And he just, like, kind of took a step back, and he was like, I was like, hey, it worked. I fooled a lot of people.
But it wasn't just the look. You have a a way of emoting that you on stage that belies your age. And that's absolutely wonderful. That works really well. And then we forget, okay, that you're 13. We really don't. No, we don't care. We don't care. You're just like, she's good. Hey, fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So let's go back to the dance, though, because dance is really hard. Have you ever had any injuries due to dance?
Well, I mean, during the school year, whenever I go to dance and it'll start at like 4 or something and end up 7 at night and everything, and I come home. Normally, I've never really had any big injury dancing, but like just the exhaustion is an amount to it, and so there's a lot of just coming home and just plopping, and then I'll wake up really early and be like, I gotta get this homework done, But I mean, it's really worth it once we go to competition and we see like all the hard work paid off and everything, and we see our dance teacher smiling. We're like, oh, it makes us happy. So, never really any big injuries that I can remember. Just it's very exhausting.
Yeah. What's your favorite subject in school?
Ooh, favorite subject. I like reading a lot, and English and literature are probably my 2 favorites.
Yeah, okay.
Because they kind of go together, and so literature is a lot of reading books and like annotating and analyzing and analyzing like the characters and everything, and that's always been like a really big favorite. And writing, I really like to write, and just using all the different adjectives so I can just explain it and make it make it really interesting, which is always really fun. So. Do
you write your own journal?
I do. I don't get to it every day, but when I remember, I'm like, oh, I need to write down, just like even some days whenever I'm just having a really good day, I'll just like take it out, and I'll be like, today is like this day, and I just had so much fun and stuff, and I'll say why. We go on a family reunion every year with my dad's side of the family, and my aunt, she keeps a journal, and so that was always really fun, and it, like you just see whenever you go back, like you see how your handwriting's progressed, and like you're like, oh my gosh, what was that? What was I saying here? Like, it's fun to go back and just laugh and be like, oh my goodness, like that was like the silly things when I was little that I thought were so great, and what I think is great now, I just think it's funny. It's funny. I laugh at myself a lot.
So what would you tell your younger self when you read some of those writings?
What do you mean?
What do you, when you see that and you go like, I would tell, note to self, what would I tell me?
Note to self, I would probably say, like, bring the sass level down, maybe. I can be very...
You're sassy.
Oh, yes, I was very sassy.
Where does that come from?
I'm still a little sassy now. Don't go asking my sisters about that. Oh, gosh, I don't know. Just, sometimes being a little diva. Just, wanting to try, trying everything you can to get your way. And, of course, like, nowadays, like, in everything, I probably have progressed a little better, but... I mean, whenever I was younger, I was probably just like, the youngest, so I was probably like, I want to be like my older sisters, And my mom and dad actually tell me, like, when I was little, like, with, like, the movies and everything, like, I never wanted to watch, like, what was it, like Elmo or something? Like, I wanted to watch, like, the Barbie movies, the ones
These are way beyond your age for that particular time.
Oh, yeah, I was like, whenever I was little, they had the little kid movies that they wanted me to watch and everything, but I didn't want to watch that. I want to be with my sister, watching the older ones, the cool ones, like with all the Barbies and everything, and it was like with all the princesses and everything. So yeah, I've always wanted to be. I think that's why I'm a little different from most of my friends, that don't have older sisters and everything, and don't have older siblings. Like they've kind of had to learn everything on their own, figure things out. And I mean, sure, the parents help and everything, but kind of, So it's always really helped. I love having my older sisters there and everything. I've learned everything from them, always wanted to be like them, so.
Yeah. So do you get away with more because you're the youngest?
I don't think so. Yeah. I've never really, I
mean, you guys seem like you're closer than that, so that's not as big a deal. Usually, the youngest, because the parents just get tired at this.
You know
It's kind of like
kind of, because this older sisters will get more privileges, because they're older and they're supposed to.
But more responsibility too, more expectations usually.
Yes, but I didn't get that, so I was like, well, I want this, with the phone and everything, getting a phone. I got mine a little earlier because I did a little more begging. I was like, well, she has one, and so I got that a little earlier. So I guess that counts as one. But not much, not much. They treat us all the same. They love us all. They love us all equally. They treat us all the same. Very good parents.
Oh my goodness. So during these different competitions, where have you been to?
Well, Nationals every year is in Dallas.
It's always in Dallas?
Always in Dallas, in Fort Worth. And so, which is interesting. I've always kind of wanted them to change it up a little, to see
I'm kind of surprised that it's always in the same place.
Yeah, because every year we're like, oh, we're going to go here again. We're going to stay at this hotel. Like, we do the same thing.
Right.
And it's always a blast. It's always really fun. But it would be really cool to have
the convention center? Where is that?
Yes, the convention center.
Okay,
right
so I know where that is.
Yeah, right across the... We literally will... I'll go back and do my quick changes in my dance, and I'm like, oh, we gotta go, and then you run right over, which is always really a lot easier. But I mean, it gets farther each time. So we'll have our first competition in Kingwood,
right,
and then we'll go to like the Woodlands,
right.
And then it just gets further and further, and then it leads up to Nationals.
Right.
But this year, I think I'm trying out for Elite, which is another. It's called the Strutters. That's what we're called. And so you try out for Kingwood Strutters, and then there's also another team that you can try out for, which is Elite. And I've never been able to try out just because of a lot of conflicts.
Sure.
But this year, it's my last year at this dance studio, unless I do it into high school.
Right.
But so I think I'm going to try out for that this year. And I think there's a couple different competitions and the Nationals for that one is in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. And
Is that Orlando by any chance?
Oh, yes. I was so jealous, seeing all my friends send me this stuff and whenever they're at Disney, and I'm like, ugh. But I went to my sister's Nationals this year. She's a Tiger girl at St. Agnes.
Right.
And they go to Florida for their competition.
Yes.
So this year I got to tag along, and she was over there dancing, and I'm over there riding all these roller coasters, and that was so much fun. Yeah, we are very big Disney fans. Every Disney plush doll you can ever think of is at my house right now.
Yeah,
yes.
we've had a lot of those at our place too.
Yeah, my dad finally got to the point where he was like, "No more. Like, this is not. If you come home with this stuffed animal, it's not allowed anymore." So we were like gave away a couple and just kept all of our favorites.
Well, Disney has done a really good job with their franchise, but in all different aspects. If you had to pick a Disney character, who would you be?
Like a princess?
Anything. Any.
Oh no, there's so many. I definitely want to be a princess.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I wanted to be any princess, I really like Rapunzel from Tangled. Mm-hmm. And I've always had my favorites, but if I actually wanted to be one, like, she's just very adventurous, you know? Which is, she goes on so many adventures, like, she takes every step she can. She fights so hard to go and see the big lanterns, which I think is really cool. You just, like, you try so hard to reach your goal, which is what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah. I noticed that, what is it? They're going to make another Frozen? Is that right? They're going to do a Frozen 2. Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited. And I'm so disappointed with myself because I haven't even seen Finding Dory.
I know, I haven't seen it. We missed it. We've been kind of busy.
We should go see it.
We should. We've been kind of, and I love the original, Finding Nemo story.
Yes.
So I'd love to see, the Finding Dory. No, we haven't seen it. Thanks for reminding me. Yes. I completely forgot about it. We got so busy with Legally Blonde, we forgot. Oh yeah, there's some movies we probably ought to see.
So we should go.
So do you get to go to the movies very much? It sounds like you're too busy to do movies.
Well, I mean, when I can, it's gotta be really good, It's
exactly.
gotta be like,
yes.
I am like Christmas time, around Christmas time, whenever there's a really good ones that come out, we'll go. But I mean, normally it's, they play they on Disney Channel, they'll always play, like, the old Disney Channel movies. So normally, instead of driving out to, like, go to the movie theater, I'm just sitting there on my couch, and I got my popcorn there, and I mean, it's perfect. I'm just as fine there as I am at the movie theater.
Well, we've been having a great time this summer. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask what we've been asking everyone else. If heaven exists, what do you want God to say when you get to the pearly gates?
Oh, wow. I'm very deep in my faith. I go to Catholic school, and we learn a lot about him there. So he's really all I have to say thank you to him for all I have, so blessed. Yeah. Whenever I get there, there's so many questions I want to ask him when I get there,
Isn't that weird? Carlos just came here. He came with a whole list of questions he was going to ask.
Really? Yeah, I know. There's just
a little more flippant, like, where's the cappuccino machine? Do you have espresso here?
Yeah.
Do I have to have a membership? Do I have to? It's like, wait a minute. Get him out of here. I don't want to.
Yes. Oh,
what are you going to ask?
What am I going to ask him? Just, like, the reasons he put certain people in our lives, like, what is he wanting me to, like, what is he trying to tell me? Yeah. Like, what on earth, like, when was I like, oh my gosh, like, Parker, why are you not getting this? He's putting it right in front of you, like, what are you not getting here? I was gonna be like, why, what were you trying to tell me there? Like, did I take every step that you wanted me to? Did I follow your plan for me? Yeah. Which is, I mean, I have everything up here that I want to do. I just need to pray more and just really listen to what he wants me to do. So did I do what he wanted?
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing too, because Mom used to tell me a lot of times that we get too busy and we don't have time to be still.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's when you get to hear him.
Yeah.
So you got to be still sometimes. But I'm not sure when you've got time to be still.
Oh yes, I do. I will always make time for God. Oh my goodness, yes. He's the best. We have a very good relationship, and I pray to him all the time. So,
Parker, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
It was great.